Rich, Ron Goodall, FightHype.com. I'm here with my guy, Vito Mielnicki Jr. How's everything been, man?
Everything's good. Just down in Houston in training camp, about a week out from the fight, so we're locked in, ready to go.
You know, what's so crazy is that I every time I talk to you, I think about you knocking out a grown adult in front of your friends in Jersey, with all the high school shirts and everything. And it feels so long ago. And I just looked at your age and I'm thinking like, yo, he has to be so much older. You're only what, 21?
Yeah, I'm 21 right now. I turned 22 May 10th, so
It's insane because I feel like I've covered you from like a point where it feels like like you should be so much older, but I have to just go back and just think like, wow, you're so young. And because of that, you fought on so many big cards and you've
yeah.
had so many, changes and trials and tribulations, and you've got so much experience already at this
Mhm.
age. I just have to ask, like, right now, like, what are you feeling right now in your point of career, just at such a young age?
Yeah, I mean, I'm on interview. Um, no, I'm feeling that was just Lorenzo Simpson truck. We're in training camp together, so but yeah, I'm feeling good. I'm in a good place mentally, physically in the ring, so just continuing to grow. Obviously, like you said, I've been on a lot of big stages. I've already taken a blemish in my career, so but everything happens for a reason. I think I'm in a great spot right now. I have a great team around me, and yeah, we're gonna continue to grow, continue to build, but I think we're close to taking that next step.
You know, your next opponent, Ronald Cruz, when you're fighting on this Canelo Munguia card, huge card, May 4th, Vegas. It's kind of like synonymous. If it's Vegas and pay-per-view, Vito has to be on it. And Ronald Cruz is just this rugged, tough guy who's never been stopped. He's been dropped, but, gave Xander Zayas a pretty good showing. Are you looking, obviously, to be the guy to get him out the ring?
I mean, obviously, it's always when you have a guy who's never been stopped, be the first one to do that. But we're prepared for all 10 rounds. But yeah, we'll see how everything plays out that night. Obviously, like everybody says, you don't get paid for overtime, but if that opportunity comes to get him out of there, we'll get him out of there.
You know, throughout all the fights I've seen, been in and covered, it kind of, I don't want to say that it seems like your peak with Ronnie Shields, but I'm pretty sure when everyone saw your last fight, they were like, whoa, like, is this
Hmm.
like a second gear of Vito Mielnicki? Do you feel like at this point that everything's starting to come together and everything's clicking?
Yeah, for sure. I feel like when you have a solid foundation, a solid team around you, and you're just constantly working, building in the gym, I think that's what's most important. But I feel my growth definitely in sparring, in the gym. Um, my eyes are sharp, everything. So, but I feel like I'm nowhere near my peak, but I'm just still growing. You know what I mean? I'm still getting better, still continuing to evolve as a fighter. And each and every day I get in the gym, I'm learning something new. So when you're around guys like Ronnie Shields and my other coach Anthony Carr, who's in camp with me, I'm gonna just continue to grow. So I feel the improvement every time I get in there, which is great as an up and coming guy. So we're just gonna continue to grow, continue to evolve.
What's so different from this version of Vito versus the Vito that fought James Martin? Because I feel that there's a visibly huge difference that if this version was in the ring that night, it would be completely unblemished.
Yeah, I mean, boxing is my life, my lifestyle. You know what I mean? Just I've stayed in the gym. I stay ready. I'm not getting out of shape. I'm always working. You know what I mean? But and that's not to say that I wasn't doing that before that James Martin fight, but maybe just became a little more. I don't know, mentally just locked in. Um, but I think everybody could see that in all my fights. Like you see me growing, you see me getting better. But from my beginning of my career, I'm not even the same fighter as I am now. I think that's evident in all my fights, but the goal is to continue to grow and always look like I'm growing each and every fight. That's the ultimate goal as I continue to climb the ladder.
You know, at this point in your career, what fights make sense for you if you get past Ronald Cruz? Is there certain names, I mean, like I said, you're only 21. I feel like I've covered you to a point where it feels like you're a seasoned veteran, and I have to remind myself, like, yo, maybe still on a fast track, but also need to slow down because the expectations are probably really high for you. So, what
Yeah, for
makes sense?
sure. Yeah, definitely. Obviously, I tell everybody this is another year of growth for me. I want to stay active, stay busy. Obviously, we have Ronald Cruz ahead. He's a tough opponent. I know he's coming to win. I know he's coming to fight. So, I actually know him personally. When I was living in LA, I seen him working sparring a few times. So, and we know each other. But yeah, I know he's coming to win. I know he's coming to fight. So it should be an exciting night. But until then, after this fight, we'll figure out what's next after.
It seems like the division has got a new shift of new talent coming in. Terrence Crawford, obviously, the pound for pound. You got Fedora, who had a big upset, quote unquote, upset win over Tim Tszyu. Tim Tszyu is going to be fighting Vergil Ortiz after that. I mean, there's a lot of shakeups and all types of. Who do you feel is the best guy in your division, and just why?
I mean, with Terrence moving up to 54, he's the best guy at 154. Just because I think he's the best fighter in boxing. You know what I mean? So you got to put him up there. But I think he handles business on what is it, August 3rd. And
Yeah.
then you got a bunch of guys. Everybody's moving up to 54. So, but I think Terrence is obviously the top guy. Virgil Ortiz, Fundora, Tim Tszyu. You got all these guys. So yeah, it's an exciting division right now for sure.
Which one excites you the most? Like an Errol Spence, or maybe like as Xander Zayas is probably gonna be brought up a lot after the Ronald Cruz fight. Like, does
Yeah.
one seem not just exciting, but also realistic that you see in your spectrum that you
Oh,
might
down
have
the
to?
line, yeah, I could definitely see a big fight with Xander down the line.
Mhm.
I think that's like we're headed on a crash course to see each other eventually. You know what I mean? So,
Mhm.
that would be exciting, an East Coast fight, wherever it may be. Um, yeah, so I would love that fight for sure in the future.
You know, Raymond Ford, Shakur Stevenson, obviously you're gonna be next in line. It seems like this is gonna be slowly the new face of not just East Coast boxing, but the new faces of boxing once everyone gets out. And when you see like your contemporary like friends, right? I like to say, um, do you feel that you're now pressured to kind of like quote unquote jump where they're at, or are you comfortable at the pace and everything that's going just because you're so extremely young and things like that?
Yeah. No, I mean everybody's moment comes, you know what I mean? Got if you focus on other people's paths, you're not or in journey, you're not worried about yours. So I know God has a plan for me, and I know when that time comes, that time will come, you know what I mean? And God makes no mistakes. So our time will come, and when that time does come, we'll be ready.
You know, mentioning like friends, I know someone you grew up really well with. Gervonta is going to be fighting Frank Martin, which is a great fight. Just wanted to get your take on just that explosive fight.
Yeah, I got Tank. I don't really think anybody could is gonna stay with Tank right now. You know what I mean? I don't see anybody staying with Tank right now.
Um, Now getting back to you, I just have to ask, I don't know if it's specifically in this camp, you don't have to talk about it, but I think on your Twitter you put some heart emojis with like kind of a heartbreak.
Oh
I
yeah.
mentioned that longest day of my life. Um, was that just kind of training talk? Like it was just a long, grueling camp? Did Ronnie make you do another 100 rounds with Charlo or something? Or
No, that was actually so. My grandfather passed away. He brought me to the gym every day as a kid from when I was like 7 years old till I was 15, 14, 15 years old. Wouldn't be in the position I am without him. Um, he was my best friend. You know what I mean? Every day called me. This probably been the longest camp in my life too, just because missing his voice every day, talking to him on the phone, before and after sparring. That was my guy. That was my best friend. So um, I know he's looking over me. I know I have a guardian angel, and I know I'll feel his presence that night when I'm in there. But yeah, the passing of my grandfather, um, probably one of the toughest things I've had to go through, just because the relationship and bond that me and him had from since I started boxing and even before that.
I know it sounds cliche, but because of that, do you feel like this is the most important fight that you must win in your career?
For sure. I just, I was, you get into like you could get into a very dark place after a death in a family and especially someone close to you. But, um, when you find peace and you find that different gear of like, just I don't know, you're driven differently. I don't know, and I know what he would want me to do, and I know what the goals and the things that me and him talked about in those even those last days that I had with him. But even since I'm 7 years old, in those car rides, going to the gym, the days that I didn't want to go to the gym, and he would be waiting at my house saying, "Get in the car, you're going to the gym. Get in the car, you're going to the gym." You know what I mean? He was always that person pushing me each and every day from when I was 7 years old till even now. So, yeah, this is an important fight for me, and I'm excited. I'm excited to put on a dominant performance for sure.
And I appreciate you sharing an intimate, thing because I know it does affect not just people but boxers because I know recently Devin had a loss. He lost his grandmother in the Ryan
Hmm.
Garcia fight, which could have potentially played issues into that. So when you lock in training camp with all this stuff, does the gym kind of give you some sort of peace and clarity? Like it kind of lets you forget a little bit outside?
For sure. I mean, definitely. I feel like not if you're not in a good place mentally, like if which you find yourself in not a good place mentally early on after something happened like that. But when you find peace within yourself, that's like your safe place. You're so far gone from what's going on outside in the real world that you're just so locked in the gym. And I mean that's always been my safe place, the gym. You know what I mean? If I'm having a bad day, I just want to go to the gym, and I think a lot of athletes can relate to that.
Mhm. And just to kind of, I guess, go on a positive note, just my last set of questions is, you know, everyone makes these different type of decisions and changes. The Ronnie Shields change, or addition, right? I want to say, because you still have your father, you still have a lot of your core team, but
Mhm.
when it came from needing to work with Ronnie Shields, what has he been able to specifically provide to you? Not just technique, but I guess like mentally when it comes to fighting.
Just consistency. Every day I tell everybody he's the most consistent person I've been around as a coach. But like you said, I have my core team still with me. Anthony Carr, my strength and conditioning coach, is my father, and obviously my support system for my family. But yeah, Ronnie is. That's why he's at where he's at, and he's been at the top for the longest time because he's just consistent. He has a schedule, he's got a routine, and he just builds brick after brick after brick each and every day. And I think that's why he's at where he's at.
Well, look, I don't want to take too much time, Vito. I really appreciate it. I know that every boxing fan and what they will call casual fans will be tuning in on May 4th because, Canelo is going to be
Definitely.
representing, Munguia is going to be representing, and you're going to be on the card representing, as always, on a big stage on Amazon Prime. Any last message to the fans and your social media?
Yeah, follow me on Instagram at Vito Mielnicki, Twitter at Vito Mielnicki Jr., TikTok at Vito Mielnicki. I appreciate all the support around the world. Tune in on Amazon Prime. I'm excited to put on a dominant performance, and you got a great main event and a great rest of this card stacked up. So, expect fireworks on May 4th.